The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Hello everyone, I'm Mike O'Sullivan with One South Coast Chamber, and I'm joined today by Rick Kidder, our co-CEO.
Well, good day everybody, it's nice to see you.
And by Katie Green, our newly promoted Vice President of Marketing and Events.
Hi everyone.
We're so happy that you could join us today. We've got so much happening at the Chamber. As we were talking this morning, you come in after Labor Day and it's like it's a whole new season and you've got a lot of things happening. So Katie, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's happening?
Well, as of today, Mike, we are officially in Chowderfest season.
Yay, baby, Chowderfest.
Yes. Chowderfest is happening Saturday, September 30th, and that's at City Pier 3 in New Bedford. It's the Black Whale parking lot, for anyone not familiar with it. It's a party on the pier, as we call it. We get around 3,000 people at this event, and tickets are on sale now for anyone who might be interested on our website at onesouthcoast.com. We have a variety of local restaurants serving up their soups, chowders, and maybe even some chilies. It's a whole variety of soups and other great South Coast flavors that will be competing for best of the best.
And that competition is actually, there's a judging that's done by a panel of judges, and you can tell us who the judges are in a moment, but also the people have a chance to vote as well. So there's People's Choice as well as the Judges Awards.
Exactly, and the judges, they do a blind taste test. And this year, our judges are none other than Fall River's own, the Portuguese Kids.
Nice.
Yes.
That's great news.
That is exciting. And from what I've seen of those guys, they eat.
I think so. I think so. They'll surely like our Portuguese soup category.
And they'll make the judging fun.
Yes, they will.
So Katie, I kind of jumped about 4 rows down in our plans here.
Yes.
But why don't you give us a little bit of an explanation as to what your new position at the Chamber is, what it entails?
So formerly I was Director of Programs and Events at the Chamber, so I was responsible for overseeing all of the small, medium, and large events within the Chamber. And now that I've taken on this new role of VP of Marketing and Events, we're combining the marketing aspect of things. So basically I'm going to be doing soup to nuts from the initial planning stages right through the whole event and all the marketing that happens behind the scenes as well.
Well, I think it's actually chowder to nuts.
Chowder to nuts.
Not
chowder
to nuts,
crackers.
Chowder to nuts.
Yeah.
And also, Katie, you're going to be taking on a lot of our communications as well. Mm-hmm. That whole marketing side is something that the Chamber needs to brand itself. Mm-hmm. The Chamber also has regular communications to its members and to others. And so that's a really important aspect of what you're doing.
Absolutely, and I have a marketing background, and I'm so excited to be getting back into marketing again full time. It's what my passion is, and actually I started my marketing career, I guess you could say, here at Bristol Community College.
That's right.
Yes.
You're
exciting.
You're a BCC grad, aren't you?
I am, yes.
That's exciting, and I'm sure President Douglas is going to be very, very happy to hear. Although I think she already knows.
She does know.
You graduated from BCC.
Yes.
Or Bristol, as
Bristol now, yes.
So Rick, we've created a new position.
We have.
Called Vice President of Public Policy. Would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Sure, I would. The Chamber is very pleased to announce, and we've just recently sent out a press release announcing that Ian Trombley, who is somebody who worked for Congressman Bill Keating for a number of years, I think 5 years there, has been at South Coast Health working in their government affairs department. And he has long roots in the South Coast, and somebody who we know is going to be an incredible addition to our team, and he'll come on as Vice President of Public Policy. The Chamber, as you probably know, is a 501c6. We are a nonprofit corporation, and we're not actually affiliated with government. But we can represent our membership before in the halls of government, and it's extremely important that we do so. When you think about small business members, most small business members spend 90% of their time trying to keep that business afloat. They're working hard within the business. They are hiring. They're looking for ways that they can improve their business life. In the meantime, there's also sorts of folks on Beacon Hill. There's all sorts of folks in D.C. Who are passing laws that have a tremendous amount of effect on their ability to do business and their long-term outlook. And it's important for us as an organization, when small business people don't have the time or the clout to be on Beacon Hill, to have somebody within our office who has that skill set and can work with our members and work with our delegation and work with our folks who are responsible on the local level, on the state level, and on the federal level for legislation that affects business. So we are very proud to have Ian there. That's a part of a whole restructuring that's come along as a result of my impending retirement in December. And when I fade into the sunset, the Chamber is going to be incredibly well positioned by having people like Katie in marketing and events, and having people like Ian Trombley, who's joining us in the public policy side. So we're thrilled to have that. You'll be meeting Ian soon.
Yes, he starts October 10th. I think you may have said that, but he starts October 10th, and we're very much looking forward to Ian coming on board. How does the new Mass Chamber Policy Network, how does that affect Ian's position and the work that we do in public policy and government affairs?
Well, we've been very fortunate in that we are part of a very small network of the largest chambers in the Commonwealth, and we are the second largest chamber in the Commonwealth, to gather with them to find common ground on issues of importance to the business community. This has been spearheaded by the Boston Chamber. Jim Rooney is their CEO. And he immediately reached out to us and 8 other chambers to form the Chamber Policy Network. Ian's going to serve as our liaison to that group. We'll be working with them, but we have already begun to take positions along with all of that Chamber Policy Network, which means that from a statewide perspective, chambers of commerce are weighing in collectively. And that just adds to our clout and adds to our ability to have a voice when we need a voice in government. So most recently, for example, we have prepared a letter to the legislature and to the administration regarding tax relief for small businesses. I don't think people realize, unless you're in business, how many separate little pieces of legislation, from the grand bargain, which was not so little, to day-to-day changes, every one of those affects those businesses. And when people are debating whether something should pass in the legislature, they look at it in isolation. We're looking at it collectively and the burdens that businesses must pay in order to stay in business and to do the most important job that we have, and that's jobs. Jobs are job one for us, because if our employers have and are able to provide good jobs for people who live here, then our community wealth increases. And so all of our work with the Chamber Policy Network is going to be centered around those areas of commonality that are statewide in nature.
Sounds good. I'm not trying to be funny. It does sound good. And I know that I know Ian in particular is going to be a big help in that respect, because as we move forward with the policy network, he's just got, he brings a whole different perspective.
He does. In fact, he already brings relationships, and those relationships are really key to getting things done. So, Mike, I think you made a brilliant hire in this one. I think you made a brilliant elevation in position to Katie. And you guys are positioned to take over the world when I leave.
Well, I do think we're positioned to take over the world, and I like being called brilliant, but it's not. It's definitely not just me, because you've been here every step of the way as we were making these changes and transitioning. So we do appreciate that.
Well, you have to step over someone, I think, as you go along, don't you? Katie, what do you think? What do you think about the new look of the chamber and have the prospect of having us more active in public policy and your changes of position?
I think it's wonderful. We're all really excited to get to know Ian better. We are familiar with him from various chamber events already, and Ian is just a really great guy. He's going to be a wonderful addition to our team, and I am really looking forward to being able to work closely with him as our roles kind of go back and forth and integrate.
Sounds good, as I said before.
As you said.
Sounds good. No, I think you'll enjoy working with Ian.
Absolutely. He's a really great guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back to Chowderfest.
Let's do that.
Let's go back to Chowderfest, which is takes everybody's time from now till the end of the month,
Yes.
pretty much.
Chowderfest is my baby.
So, what's the most difficult part for today with the Chowderfest?
That's a loaded question. Today, well, we want to sell tickets, and we want to encourage people to pre-buy their tickets. By doing so, you have a $5 savings. If you buy at the door, it's $20, but if you do pre-sale, you save $5, so it's only $15. Children 5 and under are free, and 6 to 12 are only $5. But this year, what we're really excited about is we're bringing back our VIP experience.
Not only bringing it back, it's better than ever.
It's better than ever. Last year we restructured everything and we got rave reviews on it, so we decided to kick it up a notch again this year, and we partner with our friends at the Black Whale. Chowderfest is actually held in the parking lot of the Black Whale at City Pier 3, and they allow us use of their deck, so we call it the Black Whale VIP deck, and there we will have concierge service provided by our other friends at Gut Chew. So if you are interested in the VIP experience, tickets for that are on sale on our website at SouthCoast.com. You basically just have to show up that day and sit back and relax. Gut Chew will do everything that Black Whale isn't already helping you with. Black Whale will serve you drinks. Gut Chew will run to the tent. They have a special feature on their app that they've created just for us, and you download it. It'll have a list of all our restaurants that are participating with the different soups and chowders that they'll be having, and you can go right on that app, check off what you want, and they will run to the tent and bring it back to you. And we have a great live band playing. They're back again this year. We had them a couple of years ago, played out.
Oh, they're terrific.
They're awesome. They really get the crowd on their feet, so you'll be able to enjoy listening to their music as well while you're hanging out on the Black Whale VIP deck.
Well, and my understanding is we have a couple of microbreweries and cocktail options as well.
Yes, we have Buzzards Bay is coming back again. They're one of our beer vendors, along with Moby Dick Brewing. And then we have the Cocktail Guru coming, and he always has some great cocktails that he mixes up for our guests.
And he always puts together a signature cocktail for Chowderfest every year.
And I don't know what it is this year. He usually surprises us, so I'm looking forward to trying it as well as seeing what else he has to offer us.
So how many VIP seats are available?
We are about a third of the way sold out.
Okay.
So I'd say we have around 60 to 70 spots left right now.
60 to 70 VIP slots.
Yes.
And of course, anybody coming to Chowderfest, whether they come day of and purchase tickets or save a little money and purchase online at onesouthcoast.com, that's where you need to go. Though anybody who comes is going to have a spectacular time. So you can do the VIP experience, which, for somebody like me who's fundamentally lazy, it's a great concept. You just go there, sit, and people bring you things. It's the same principle as Santa Claus.
Yes.
You ask for things, and they come to you. It is a wonderful thing. But for others who just love the feeling of mixing and mingling with lots of other people and sharing in that experience, there's lots of ways of doing Chowderfest, and we really hope that everyone comes out this year.
Absolutely. And we should note that the VIP tickets are pre-sale only. They do sell out every year. So if you are interested in that, hop on our website, onesouthcoast.com.
Katie, I think that you should have the conversation with the Cocktail Guru, and the signature cocktail should be in honor of Rick and Santa Claus in his retirement this year.
All right. We got to come up with a clever name.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it should be, but we need to think of that and come up with it.
Okay.
It's got to honor Rick's retirement, since technically this will be your last Chowder Fest that you'll be working.
That's true. This will be my last Chowder Fest, and it's hard to imagine. When we first picked up Chowder Fest, it had existed for 10 or 11 years and had been operated by Downtown New Bedford Inc., and they no longer had the capacity to do so. So we kind of bought their playbook and said, okay, we'll run it. Little did we realize how challenging it would be to put together even a festival that lasts a half day. So I give a lot of credit to anybody who runs festivals. They are difficult to do. And I really encourage everyone to go out to all festivals that they see in the area that may have some interest for them, because involvement in those is really involvement in community. Mm-hmm. And you'll never know unless you talk to Katie, and she's had a couple of the signature cocktails named for me. You'll never know unless you talk to Katie how much work went into putting those things on. Things you don't even think about.
Right.
But for people who are coming in our parking, we do have a shuttle bus service. Is that correct?
We do. We have two options. We partner with CERTA, and they will shuttle people from the Whale's Tooth parking lot, which is, if you're familiar with taking the ferries over to the islands, it's the parking lot that they use, so you can park there. And we also have access to the Elm Street garage, which is just up the street, and that is free to park in that day as well. So if the shuttle doesn't run from there, so you would have to walk, but if you are in need of the shuttle, park at the Whale's Tooth lot.
And it's important to note this is a family-friendly event. We talked about the beer and the cocktails, mm-hmm. but this is really an event that entire families come to.
Yes.
And they look forward to it every year because it is such a good family-friendly event.
Absolutely.
So we will have games, we'll have things for kids to do, we'll have things for adults to play. But to be honest, it's one of those things that I think is so special that we can't thank you enough for the hard work that you put into making it so good.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And the weather's going to be perfect.
The weather is going to be perfect. We're putting it out there in the universe now. We're going to have a beautiful day, and I'm not even going to say that R word. We don't want any of that falling from the sky that day.
You don't want any Ricks falling
No.
from the sky?
No Ricks falling from the sky.
No.
So, Katie, we've got a few other events coming up this year. Why don't you tell us a little bit about them?
Sure. So on Thursday, September 14th is our biannual job fair. We do one in the spring and one in the fall. This one is going to be held at Rachel's Lakeside in Dartmouth, and it will feature around 50 local employers who are looking to hire from part-time to full-time. So if you are a job seeker, if you are underemployed, not employed enough, we are looking forward to having you there with us on September 14th from 9 to 2 at Rachel's. It's going to be a great day. We always have a great crowd. We have Sergio from Bad Monkey Picks. He will be there doing headshots, complimentary headshots. So even if you are in need of a headshot, come on by, talk to some of our employers that will be there, learn about what kind of jobs they have open, and get a professional headshot taken. And then we also have, then it's Chowder Fest, obviously, and then a couple of weeks after that, we are doing our Valcourt Award Dinner, where we are honoring Jim Wallace of Bay Coast Bank for his outstanding work in the community.
Jim Wallace is a fantastic guy who's given back so much to the community over the years. We're very excited to be able to, just to be able to honor him for all of his service. He's works with United Way of Fall River, he works with People Incorporated, and those are just two that he's involved with today. He's involved with so many others, and he's just a great advocate for our communities that we serve, and we're really tickled to be able to honor Jim.
Yes, yes, and that will be at Whites of Westport on the 17th. So if you know Jim and you want to come and support him and help us in honoring him, tickets are available on our website at OneSouthCoast.com.
And if I'm right, the Valcourt Award is really the Outstanding Citizen Award. And it began as a part of the Fall River Chamber, Bristol County Chamber, and is now expanded into One South Coast. So really, individuals who could qualify for this would be from throughout the region. Jim has done an incredible amount regionally, but how is Valcourt selected?
It's a very, very intense process. The committee is made up of some of the chamber staff. It's also made up of previous Valcourt Award winners, and they have to be, the individuals have to be nominated by someone on the committee, and once they're nominated, it's a very intense process because we get many nominations, and sometimes, you know, I've seen over the years where many of the folks who win actually say they don't want the award. And the reason they don't want the award is not because they just don't want an award. Many of them tend to be the type of individual that when they hear that they win an award like that, they're not doing it for the accolades.
Right.
They're doing it to do what's right for the community, leading their companies, leading not-for-profits, and you know, so there's been many, many times where once the winner is announced, some former Valcourt winners usually have to go in and tell the person that they won and that they can't refuse it. So it's an interesting situation, but it really is the Outstanding Citizen. It's got, I can't name everybody, but I know that Nick Christ from Bay Coast Bank, Carl Hetzler from H&S Tool, who does great work for Bank 5, had done work with St. Anne's Hospital.
Frank Baptista.
Frank Baptista won last year.
Yep.
Joan Medeiros won a few years ago. And there's so many great people who have won the Valcourt Award. Bill Eccles, the former CEO of Bank 5. There's so many people, and they're all. It's a great award to win, and it really means a lot. And since we came together as One South Coast Chamber, it's become more competitive because it's not just the Fall River area,
right.
It's the entire South Coast, which is exciting. And there's a lot of great people across the entire South Coast. There
is, Mike, and you know, the Valcourt Award is exactly what you were saying earlier. The person who least thinks they deserve such an award is the one who's presented it. And it's astounding how often you get a little bit of minor pushback from the awardee at the beginning because they're not in it for the recognition. That's all the more reason to give them the award.
And fortunately, when you look at all the winners of the Valcourt Award and you look at the board of One South Coast Chamber, there's some very strong individuals there who don't have a problem with telling their friends that no, you've actually won and you're going to accept this. And it almost sounds crazy, but it's really not, because it's the makeup of the people and they do it for their community.
Absolutely. And our awards committee is, for lack of a better word, community involvement type A's. And those community involvement type A's have very strong feelings about this award. It's a matter not only of personal pride for them, it's an honor that they feel reflects the community in such positive ways. So kudos to the Fall River side of the Chamber for having come up with Valcourt. It is brilliant and something that I think that is of tremendous value to the entire region.
And one of those members, I'm not going to state names because we don't have time to get into everybody, but one of those members has been on that committee for at least 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been on there for a very long time, and he's very outspoken, passionate and outspoken. I'm not letting him off the hook. But he's a great guy, and he gives a lot of great guidance and has a lot of really true understanding. And he's also one of the people who is really trying to push and make sure that we're properly awarding folks that have ties to the New Bedford area as well. So So we're working hard at that. So next year, when you hear that if you're interested or you think you've got somebody that's great, let us know, and we can talk to some of the folks on the awards committee.
Katie, one of the things that you've instituted since your arrival here is working with some of our members, including Kristen Gomes. You've come up with the Women's Power Lunch.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that and what its value is to women business owners.
Sure. This is a really great program that we have. We do it every other month, and we host these Women's Power Lunches at a chamber member restaurant. We like to have a space where the women in our chamber members and our business community can get together, talk about just things that, maybe we couldn't talk about elsewhere.
Mike and I are not invited.
No.
Just want you to know we do not
never
attend
been.
these events.
You guys went to the first one, actually.
We went to the first
The
one.
very first one in New Bedford at
We
Play.
went to the very first
Play
one.
Arcade, yes.
I was there.
Okay.
Rick was definitely there. I think you were there. I think you were
I don't
there.
think so, but I wouldn't doubt that you remember. I don't.
Anyway, so we used to do them monthly, but now we've gone to an every other month schedule. And the women who come to this absolutely love it. They always ask us when we have that month off in between, when is the next one happening? We can't wait. They just love being able to get together with other women within the business community, do some networking, have some girl talk. It's a really fun event. We try and get the women who attend excited about things, and the amount of support that is within this group is really amazing. We have new faces every single month, and we see a lot of faces that may not necessarily come to our other events, so it's a really great opportunity for these people to just get together, meet new friends. Some people have become really great friends that they didn't know each other prior to these lunches. So we're on just over 2 years now. We've been doing this, and it's been a huge success.
That's wonderful. We have our Business After Hours coming up September 2 at Hatch Street Studios. And that one's going to be a little bit, we've been there every year.
Yes.
At Hatch Street Studios in New Bedford, but this one's going to be a little bit different. They're throwing a few monkey wrenches in.
They are. So Jeff, who is the owner of Hatch Street Studio, has decided that he is going to make this an interactive event. So he's going to have some of his artists that participate within Hatch Street doing live demos. I think there's going to be a paint by number option, so everybody who attends this event can, I guess, pick a number and paint that one
community art project.
Community art project. It's going to be really fun. Jeff always does a really great job putting this event together. He has a local musician come and play for us, and most of the artists within the studio, their artwork is on display, and most of them are there as well to be able to talk about what they've done.
Does the paint by numbers require you to stay within the lines?
I would say probably.
I don't know.
Well, you and I
better get an outside border.
you and I are going to do just fine. We are of limited artistic ability, but if we have adequate instruction, we'll be okay. We'll be all right.
We better make sure that all our friends from FRAC and New Bedford Creative come.
Yes, because if it's the three of us, we're in big trouble.
Well, Mike, I think it's time for you to thank Fall River Media.
It is, yes. Thank you very much to our friends at Fall River Community Media for having us. We always enjoy coming. We always get a great opportunity to tell the community all the great things that we're having, so thank you very much.